Hey guys, Ricky here. I did a short about this earlier, but just in case there's anyone who doesn't do YouTube shorts, because I don't, I only watch like long form YouTube videos. So to my 12 people that watch my videos, I just wanted to just put one on here. It's probably going to be just as long. The short I did was about 4 or 5 minutes. It's probably going to be a repeat. So if you guys saw that one, just don't even bother with this video. But I'll try not to repeat myself too much. But this is just, I mean, you think that you've seen it all from Republicans and from the Supreme Court, and the fact that we're outnumbered in the Supreme Court by 6-3 by conservatives and sitting on the court right now, and you think that you've seen it all, and then they just do some stuff that just surprises you to your core. At least I am. So this is coming from the New York Times, but everybody has this story right now. The Supreme Court strikes down Louisiana map, another blow to the Voting Rights Act. The Supreme Court on Wednesday, which is today, struck down Louisiana's voting map, finding that lawmakers had illegally used race when drawing up a new majority black district and potentially setting off a scramble in the middle of a primary season as states consider drawing new maps. The decision was 6-3, split along ideological lines. The conservative majority asserted that the opinion was a limited ruling that preserved a central tenet of the Voting Rights Act, but the court's liberal wing, in dissent, argued that justices had taken the final step to dismantle the landmark civil rights law. So they're pretty much making it easier. They're taking off all of the guardrails. As gerrymandering already is just cherry picking votes and trying to draw minorities and trying to limit the ability for people to have their voices known and actually be represented by people that are like them, drawing them in a way where we don't have to worry about people's race. We can just limit the power of minorities who are more prone to voting Democratic and liberal and progressive, limiting their ability to actually get representation and drawing weird shapes so that we can cut people out and make votes mean less. If this rings like pre Jim Crow law, 3/5 of a vote for black people, that's exactly what it sounds like to me. It's how do we make your vote count less? In addition to already limiting mail in voting, in addition to already making early voting harder, in addition to creating dumb laws like needing your birth certificate to register to vote, in addition to scare tactics at the voting booths, Republicans are always looking for ways to make it harder for people of color and minorities to vote. And when it comes to things like, and I don't want to talk about an article that already came out like a month ago, but when they talk about things like having to show your birth certificate when you register to vote, they're actively trying to make it harder for women's votes to count, because as soon as a woman changes her name, the birth certificate doesn't match the social doesn't match the driver's license. Things like that is ways that they can, and women, again, usually vote on the side of Democrats. So because Republicans can't get votes on their own because their policies suck, this is what they do. They cheat. They change the rules. They're much like a child who's losing at a board game. They flip over the table and knock over the pieces and then start to make up rules on their own. So, in the majority opinion, Justice Samuel Alito wrote that the court had kept intact the Voting Rights Act, but that Louisiana's new majority minority district violated the Equal Protection Clause of the Constitution. For decades under the Voting Rights Act, lawmakers have created districts where non white voters are the majority to protect their ability to elect candidates of their choice. But Justice Alito said that the vast social change, particularly in the South, included increased voter registration and turnout by minorities, showed such considerations were no longer necessary. So, just because there's more people of color, let's roll back the protections, because what could possibly go wrong, right? Just no thinking whatsoever. If anything, if there's more minorities, you would want to make sure that we do have protections so that everyone is getting represented. That's what the laws are for. So they can appeal and protect the most amount of people in a particular space. This is just common sense stuff. But once again, because we're outnumbered in the courts, this is the kind of stuff that's going to happen. To successfully challenge district maps under the Voting Rights Act now, Justice Alito wrote, challengers would need to show evidence supporting a strong interference that the state intentionally drew its districts to afford minority voters less opportunity because of their race. A legal challenge that cannot disentangle race from the state's race neutral considerations, including politics. So now, much like it is in other countries, we're not, and I didn't scroll down to give you guys the whole highlighted portion. My bad. That was a bad job by me on that one. But much like in other countries now, you need to prove that you're guilty. No, now you need to prove that you're innocent instead of that you're guilty. So, what are we doing here? This is backwards. So now you need to prove that something is racist for us to actually do something about it, as opposed to being proactive and getting in front of something and saying, hey, let's not have this happen in the first place. Let's have protections here. So at what point do we just pull all the guardrails off of everything? At what point do we just dismantle the FDA, the FCC? At what point do we just no holds barred? Let's not even, as a government, as as a Supreme Court, let's not even bother creating laws that are going to protect people. Let's wait until we show proof that someone is actively getting assaulted, and in this case, getting their freedoms assaulted, to actually do something about it. There's no reasoning with these people. And this is a judge. These are people that are put in there for life. And at this point, this is the kind of stuff where it's like, do we have to stack the courts? Well, what do we have to do? Because we can't get them out at this point. We need to elect a president who's actually going to say, you know what, much like FDR did in, you know, when when he had pushback from the Supreme Court, when he was trying to push the New Deal, and he said, if I have to stack the courts, I will, and played chicken with the Supreme Court because he knew he couldn't get him out of, you know, off of the bench. And then that finally made them come around to the table and stop fighting him on his New Deal. Dude, we need a leader like that. We need a leader who's going to stand up to these people and say, you know what, if you're not going to, if you were not going to realize that when we say we the people of the United States, in order to create a more perfect union, we're talking about every member of this country, no matter what creed, ethnicity, race, gender you are, or sexual orientation you are. Until you start to get on board with that, I'm going to stack the courts against you, because this is anti-American to me. I mean, not only are you making it harder to run a democracy, but you're actively creating racist, bigoted lines on a voter map to make the power of people's votes less. And it's infuriating. It's disappointing. I hope you guys are just as mad and frustrated about this as I am, because it's just like I said. You think that you've seen everything from these people, and then they go out and they do something that just one ups themselves. There is no depth that these conservatives will go to just take power by any means necessary. So anyway, guys, that's the video. If you like the video, feel free to like and subscribe. If you don't like it, that's what the dislike button is for. To my 12 people that watched the video, thank you so much. To anybody that watched my short and the video, I mean, you guys are doing double work. Thank you so much for that. To everybody else, hope you guys have a great day, and enjoy the country while we can. It's our 250th birthday, and at the rate we're going, we may not have many more. So thanks, guys, and I'll see you on the next video.